Today on the ScreenBlast podcast, it's Venom. Venom 3. Venom the
Oh, you saw it too, Martin?
Venom it all. Yeah, that's why he's here. I am Bryan the Baltimorean. Joined alongside the man that interrupted me asking if our other guest here saw the movie that we'll be reviewing today.
Look what time it is! It's a... No, fuck, I unplugged it.
Is that the Temu Tumblr time clock? I love those.
No, it's a fucking...
They're 89 cents.
No, it's a fucking alarm from, like... I can't come... Fuck you. Canine Biscuits!
Joined alongside the sir himself.
Canine Biscuits!
Again.
That's I said. That's Art himself.
Canine!
See it, not see y'all again.
Before we get any further, of course, we want to make sure you guys know you can find us on your favorite podcast. Oh my God, this button! You can follow us at our favorite podcast, your favorite podcast service. That includes YouTube Music, which was Google Podcasts. You can find us at Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or you can easily just go to ScreenPlay.
What about Nintendo Music?
Not there yet, with copyright strike. ScreenBlastPodcast.com.
My own has found us. We have something my creator needs. There's a key that would free him.
Let's have some fun. We're going to talk about Venom.
Gotta get him.
Last Dance. So I'm going to go through the movie detail and then we'll talk about this. So I think what's interesting about Venom coming out at this point, we're obviously going to talk about the release date here, but Venom is a franchise that wouldn't obviously have happened without Deadpool making so much money a few years earlier, back in 2016. This is a project that would have, the first movie was just sitting there with rumblings until Deadpool had success, and then Sony finally thought, oh, we can get on this bandwagon. So it is very funny that it comes out, the third movie comes out the same year that the third movie for Deadpool also releases.
Oh, that was the reason? I thought they just wanted to do, like, Spider-Man movies to begin with, because
they
did,
but it was originally attached to Amazing, and it was just sitting there on hold. And then it didn't really get going until after 2016, notably because Sony needed to see something that would make it money.
Do you think even without Deadpool they would end up doing this anyway? Because ever since they signed up with Marvel, it's like, we still want to do our own shit, but like we can't do it without Marvel Spider-Man. So like, let's just do the Spider-Man stuff without Spider-Man. Fuck it.
They might have, but it definitely changes the trajectory, especially in the way that they handle Venom. I think they don't do this the way that they handle it. The comedic timing, like I don't think they handle it the way that they do without Deadpool having the success that it did. I do think that we may have gotten this.
I wish they learned more from Deadpool. Like these should have been like rated R.
Agreed.
Especially the Carnage movie.
Well, the Carnage one is a big fucking wasted time. Fuck that movie. I loved it, but I wish it was more caring for Carnage. That
post-credit scene actually meant something.
Yes. The director, screenwriter, Kelly Marcel, of course. This was the thing going in, by the way, is, wow, the person that was the screenwriter, the writer for 50 Shades of Grey movies, she was the one that was tasked on doing the first Venom. It went pretty well. She was also the screenwriter for the second one, and then also now the director for this third movie, along with screenwriting it. The editor was Mark Sangar. You had music by Dan Deacon. Obviously, this is over at Columbia Pictures at Sony. And its runtime is just short of 2 hours. We're coming in 10 minutes short of 2 hours. Budget, highest of the entire trilogy, $120 million. Let's talk about this movie.
Damn, it's cheaper than Joker 2 and it made more money. What the fuck?
You said what?
It's cheaper than Joker 2 and it made more money. What the fuck?
That's crazy. Especially people saying that Joker 2 was better. Have you see that on the internet? Crazy.
Huh?
People are weird out there, man. I don't know what's going on.
I can't comment.
I can't comment on that one either. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. That's absolutely...
I mean, it was better.
Mark, so you saw... I think you probably saw it earlier than all of us. When you saw it when?
That Thursday?
You saw it opening?
I think so. I believe so.
And Mark, when did you see it?
I think I saw it like opening week.
All right, so Mark, what did you get first? What did you think about... After seeing the second one, what was your hype about Venom 3?
It wasn't really the hype. It's just I watched the first two. I'm already committed to watching the third one. I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna go see it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it was like another tick on the Venom countdown. Well, anyway, but for the most part, I did enjoy the movie.
I mean, technically, technically it is a follow-up to No Way Home, so...
I do. That's so lovable. That's so... yeah.
I mean,
isn't that... Wait, no, wasn't it technically Infinity... What was that, Endgame?
No, it was No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah.
It's the follow-up to No Way Home.
Because,
because it's Portal.
The opening is the post-credit scene.
Yeah. Mark, so, before we go to Mark, so you were more like... This was not obviously Deadpool Wolverine. I just want to compare 1-to-1. Like, I think...
Oh, no.
You compare the hype and excitement for the third movie of this Deadpool trilogy, and you compare it to what we get from, like, out of excitement of this. And this will go, obviously, we'll talk later about the missteps of the Sony sort of Venomverse here. Like, nothing close, but still gonna see it.
Yes, that's basically what it is. Like I said, I'm committed. I'm gonna go see it. Like, but for the most part, I did enjoy the movie for what it was. Very, very, very disconjointed.
We'll talk more about Mark, going in, what about you?
I mean, sorry, I was movie reviewer. I'm going in to see every fucking blockbuster, so I was going to go see this regardless, bad or worse. But, like, I mean, in terms of looking forward to this, I didn't care. It's just...
Oh my god.
I would care a lot more, because, like, I was okay with Carnage. I think Carnage was, like, a pretty decent movie. I think
it was a good time at the theater.
I was okay with the first, like, Venom 1 and 2 was just alright. It was just there. But, like, I'll be honest. That post-credit scene got me hyped. I was like, wait, what's gonna happen? He's actually gonna be a part of No Way Home. No Way Home actually happened, so like, oh. Because also what fooled me was, when the trailers for No Way Home came out, you saw Spider-Man in a black suit. I'm like, oh, what's the black suit for? And it's like, no, he just made his suit black.
Just made his
suit black, and then like, you're watching No Way Home, and you're like, I'm not thinking about it, but then like, the post-credit scene, like, oh yeah, Venom was supposed to be here. So what's gonna happen? Nothing.
Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, so I'd say on my end, same level of excitement. I think nothing against Sony and how they do their Marvel movies, but it's always been a grade down, even over the past few years of I would say the poorer Marvel movies, the lower quality Marvel MCU films. Sony has always felt like they were the second tier or third tier of like quality when it comes to what you're getting on a big screen.
Was the Madam Web this year? Was the Madam Web like this year?
This was earlier this year, yeah. So it's like seeing Sony controlling anything not Spiderverse. You kind of go in with, okay, this is going to be a good time at the theater, but it's not going to be anything that fulfills you beyond that. Let's talk about this movie here, outside of sort of our expectation going in. On my end, I think when I came out of this movie, I saw it last night, funny enough. It was like the last thing I had to do before doing this. So you guys have seen it quite a long time ago. I saw it very recently. This movie has been out for quite a little while now. And what I'll say is, it's weird because, again, Sony, you just don't expect the Marvel quality. You don't even expect anything going in because that's just what they do. But there's like so many moments in this film. This film could have been cut down by about half an hour because its pacing's weird.
Okay, here's the thing. Carnage is short though. Carnage is an hour and a half. I was surprised. Well,
this is 10 minutes more than an hour and a half. You know what I mean?
Like it's not like 20 minutes more, a little bit.
It's like one hour, 110.
Okay.
Minutes. So it's it's 1 hour 40 minutes.
They dragged the last 5 to 10 minutes a little bit longer than necessary. But I get why they did it, but at the same time, it could have been not like that. So
you're talking about the send-off thing.
No, not that. I'm talking about like the whole
Area 51 battle.
Yeah, like right at the end where the two of them were saying their goodbyes. Like
that's honorable.
I get why. Yeah, I get why they did it. But I'm saying they could have cut that. They cut the whole him doing the whole acid bath thing.
Tell me what you think about this here, both of you guys. The Area 51 thing is kind of weird. Because, and again, I think this movie, point being, I don't want to go in saying, oh, this is shit. It's a fun time in the theater.
Yeah.
You'll laugh a lot. You'll enjoy it. You know, when it comes to streaming, definitely watch it when it's on streaming. It's worth it. It's a good time. It's a good way to send off Venom. This Venom trilogy, at least, for what it is. But Area 51, it's as if they forgot that they said Area 50, what this is, like 4 times. Because we get establishing shot of Area 51. And then it's like, hey, Area 51's getting shut down. And then they say Area 51 again, and then they say it's underground Area 51, and then 2 minutes after that, they're walking through this tunnel, and they talk about how this is Area 51 underground.
No. That was something different.
No, it's still Area 51, but it's an underground area that's not technically on the books.
No, they called it something else.
You know what I mean? It's
I get what you're saying.
But it's like, this isn't, I'm saying like, they kept saying, oh, this is Area 51, but it's not. And then they go underground. And then they say again, it's not Area 51, but it is. And then again, for a third time, they say it again as they're walking through a hall. It's like, there's so much fat in this movie that could be trimmed out because they just wanted to extend the runtime with some of these characters. And it's like, you know, like, what's his name? The guy that's from Doctor Strange. That's not actually a Doctor Strange character, funny enough. It's like, he gets so many lines here where he's saying the same thing twice or three times that we've heard him say before. And it's like, man, this dialogue is awful, but that's what you expect in this Venomverse.
No, well, you know what's funny? That whole time I was thinking about like because that literally is like kind of a plot point on Looney Tunes Back in Action, where they go to they go to a different Area 51, and that area is called Area 52 because Area 51 is just like a distraction for conspiracy theorists and tourists.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's good. But, yeah, I thought, like, you know, like, there's moments in this film where you're establishing things, and it's like, I think it suffers a little bit like the way that Spider-Man 3 did, which is you're introducing all these different elements. Like, you introduce this big bad villain that basically has no meaning in this movie at all. Probably will not have any meaning to
thanks for getting the camera off me, bitch.
Sorry. We'll probably have no grand meaning in the grand scheme of this franchise in total in the end, but he gets about 10 minutes in this movie that could have been used for anything else, or maybe they didn't have anything else and that's where he gets dropped in. Because those villains, those creatures could have just appeared and then the end credit scene would have been him. There's moments where you have characters, again, saying things that would have been better if you just didn't tell us and you just showed us later. Like, it's like, wow, like you took out all the mystique of this because you just kind of revealed it when a character would say dialogue before. It's like, fuck, like you...
Okay,
It stinks. It's like, why... Like, I think the whole MacGuffin thing where Venom and Eddie Brock both have the thing inside them and it's like, I think that's one where it makes sense they fill it in at the perfect time, but I wish that, again, like there's moments where they just kind of mishandle where they place information. I'm coming at this movie hard, but I don't need to.
Okay, can I talk about that bar scene real quick?
Go for it.
Why did they kind of retcon the way they like teleport out of the back into their own dimension? Because
it's gotta be a Sony version, I guess.
Because you see in like in the beginning the way Noel teleports all of his like minions.
Yes.
And so it cuts to the bar scene. And if you remember the post-credit scene in Spider-Man No Way Home, they fade out into like into purpleness.
Because it's like clouds. Like
yeah, they fade out into purpleness.
Right.
And that's how they leave that world. And what doesn't make any sense. So like in this movie, they get warped back into their dimension through the same type of portal Noel was sending his demons through. And that confused the fuck out of me.
Put it like this. This is a theory. We see it from each side of the different MCU universes. So in their universe,
like this interpretation we get.
In the Marvel in MCU, they teleport this way, and we see it through their lens. But if we switch over to the Sony,
we get the Sony license version.
And it looks like through that one. It's just a theory. I'm not saying this is what it is. That's how I like to think of it. Like,
I think overall it just doesn't matter. Right. And like, if Tom Holland,
but it's like an HD DVD loadout versus a Blu-ray loadout.
Yeah.
I think like that doesn't matter because like I think literally Venom being in that world just doesn't matter at all, even to the Marvel universe. Because like I feel like if Tom Holland does get a black suit, it won't be technically from that Venom. It would just be like a symbiote from somewhere else.
You know what's weird?
Or it just could have been a symbiote. That could have been symbiote from anywhere. It didn't have to be specifically from Venom.
Obviously, so Eddie Brock doesn't have obviously the symbiote with him anymore. But this movie ends better to fit with
Did we mention spoilers at the top?
It fit. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But this.
What do you mean sure, dude? I was asking. That was a question.
Oh, that was a question. I'm just saying short spoilers. Sorry.
Just put in the description. Fuck it.
But like, this movie is a much better point to introduce. It's so weird because it's like here he wants to see the Statue of. It would be a perfect movie to send him into a Spider-Man universe. It's like it's so on the nose because you have the battle with like if you think about No Way Home again, you have this battle with obviously this is the MCU Statue of Liberty, but you have the battle on the Statue of Liberty. It's in Manhattan, all that stuff. They want to get to Manhattan. It's so weird that this movie will end up being pointless to the grand scheme because obviously it's like unless they're still planning on utilizing this Eddie Brock with Spider-Man, then it will be relevant, but it seems like they're not going to, so it is irrelevant. But it leads in so well for Spider-Man and this version of Eddie Brock to actually see each other. But we're probably not going to get that. It's so weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it leads to New York, but we're not going to see them together, most likely. Like Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock.
Dude, every movie that releases, they kept teasing like we might get Tom Holland in here, we might get a Spider-Man in here. We might get some Spider-Man references in here because they were doing that for the first Venom. Yeah. They did that for the second Venom, and they're sure as hell we're doing that for this Venom.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think that was Eddie. That was Tom Hardy's one of his conditions. He said he wants to come if he comes back. He wants to fight Spider-Man.
He did. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. But
oh yeah.
But yeah, like I do think like again, there's some fun moments here. I love that they acknowledge they have what's her name from Venom 1, I believe, or was she in the second one where they're at the Las Vegas casino there, and she's there?
She was in the first one, second one, and Spiderverse 2.
Yes.
Where was she in Spiderverse 2?
She appeared in
the spot when the spot first like put his like he was.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That was
I was hoping she would mention that like there was like this weird like guy that like popped this whole.
Sadly we all know that Sony doesn't want to acknowledge anything Spider-Verse related.
I mean, they do now. It makes money.
Well, barely. They don't want live action stuff from the Villainverse to reference into. It's so weird. It's so very weird. But yeah, like it was cool that they had a moment because that felt very much like, hey, we're acknowledging that this is coming to an end, so they're going to have a little moment together in this movie as well. You know, and again, like all the moments where they're just talking to the banter is
get that damn camera off me, goddammit!
The banter is the movie. Like that's what makes this great is the partnership, the connection between these two, you know. And I just wish that this movie feels like it reminds me when I was watching this movie. It's like I wish nothing against this director. But when I was watching this movie, I just kept thinking, man, Michael Bay would have knocked this out of the park because his filmmaking is perfect for human characters interacting with some alien character and having this chemistry kind of like that, and the military coming after them, but done in a cooler way. Because this is done in like very generic, like the way that the film is shot is very.
I can name you every Michael. I don't know. I can name you every Michael Bay movie I saw right now.
Well, I know.
Bad Boys 1, 2, Transformers 4,
that's why I'm not asking you about
and Dora the Explorer.
Why did you bring yourself into this? I'm not asking you to tell me what the f you've seen from Bay. Get out of here. I'm just saying that Bay.
You were gonna ask
would
it.
Be a.
You were thinking I was gonna ask.
I was gonna ask him. But like, I just think about like Transformers. I think about the TMNT movie. I don't think was done well, but I think again, like the Bay stylings would have brought more character into the way this movie is filmed because it's so. To me, the way the movie's like just filmed is boring. The dialogue is fun with those two, but like it's just so all right, here's a shot.
Disjointed.
Here's a shot. We're moving, done. We're gonna do anything interactive with this shot? Fuck no. Here's a CGI shot with some dynamic cameras. Cool. But like nothing really interesting in any of this film.
I mean, I'm just interested like when it just focuses on Venom.
Yes.
Every time it like goes to somebody else, it's like not very interesting at all. That and like the movie doesn't really have a point or like it or just kind of like makes it one up as it's going. So Eddie and Brock are on the run. How are they going to be safe from everything they're on the run? So because their escape is they can't go back to San Francisco apparently. No. So they're going back to a discrete location like fucking New York City. and go see the Statue of Liberty to be safe from everything. I think Eddie's excuse was he knows a guy he can blackmail, but like, what about all these like weird alien creatures after him? They still want to head to New York because apparently they still might be safe there somehow.
And then after that, then you have the alien force coming after them.
Yeah. That's what I said. Oh yeah, the alien force
Because
too.
it's three different divisions. You've got the law enforcement regular. Then you've got actually like the alien military, and then you've got actual aliens. And yeah.
It's mostly just the alien military.
Yeah, I would just.
But I mean, like, but they start off by saying, "Oh, like,
Yeah, but the law enforcement wasn't
like."
really-
I don't think this is where the movie like tries to do so many threads again. Back to Spider-Man 3, where it's like you want to go in all these threads. It's like just pick a thread, focus on it, go in that direction. Be like, you don't need us to start off with a news report. But I mean, I guess it's helpful. But again, we were going to get that anyway. Like, if he walks out of the boat, we're probably going to get that eventually anyway. Like, so. You don't need to tell us, just show us eventually that what's going to happen. And that's what this movie does a lot of. It just tells us, like, as obvious as possible, instead of just letting the movie breathe and then show us how this goes. Again, like, I love the moment when, like, they're on the horse. Like, the horse scene we've seen so many times in the trailers, but it's still fun. Still fun as hell to see, when they're on the plane, too, that was funny as fuck. And, like, again, like you said, Mark, anytime Venom is on screen, it's awesome because how expressive they've made Venom now. It's like so cool. Like
they had like a cool concept one sequence where he was just like going between animals, and I wish they expand upon that more. Even the end credits was like, "Hey, when if we did all this shit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, when if you? Why didn't you?"
If you did that? Yeah, that would have been very beneficial, but you kind of wasted. I do. There's one thing I like about this movie, and that is again, I think was it Chiwetel Ejiofor? I can't remember what the guy's name is. Again, from the guy that plays what's his name from Doctor Strange. Either way, I like his character has more definition than I would have expected because when his team dies, he's like actually upset. Like you can feel that there's at least something there. It doesn't feel like usually movies will just pass by it, move past it, all that stuff. But you feel this thread about the fact that he lost his team. And I do like that very much. It carries throughout the movie. And then at the end, when the secondary team comes in, he's very caring about that team. And he wants to get everyone out of there as much as possible, but he's just not able to because at that point, you have the big bad aliens coming in. But I do like that you have this guy that's actually fully for saving as many people as possible, getting a team together that is as agile as possible. And it just was, these aliens were just much too fierce to what he was expecting. I thought that was very. It was a good acknowledgement from. Not good acknowledgement, but it was good to write that in as a character. And it gave the character more layers than it would have for a standard military character. Military characters usually people die. Who cares? Yeah.
But
good.
But like at the same time, the same dude. I wish there was like more. It had more in depth to what he was doing because a lot of those scenes just snap in and out.
Yeah.
Even when the points where like they had concepts like what was it called? Damn it! There was a part where he called someone and asked him, "Can you send it?" What's the name of that team?
Yeah,
the trio. The six.
Yeah, the six.
Yeah, when they talked about the six, I was like, "Is it going to be a big concept? No, it's just they popped in and I know you say you care
for Knights of Ren, where
but we don't know who they are.
Right.
Like,
but we don't know. I agree. I wish there was more definition for them too.
He brought them in.
Yeah.
But who are they?
Right.
There was no name,
establishment, no names,
nothing.
Right.
Just 6 people that came in. I mean, it was a badass scene, but. Like I said, I wish that
it was a badass scene until it was. until
the aliens showed up and ate them all.
By the way, you're right. That was horribly paced. That scene was like all over the place. They really did not know how to shoot
a scene
like that underwater. It's like underwater, above water. They did not know how.
A scene in the movie tries to make you feel for it. I didn't feel for it at all. Was the backstory of that one scientist who like her brother got struck by lightning.
That felt out like 2005.
Somehow that has to do with her powers. What?
It just jumped, like I said, it just jumps into these things and just try to make you like vibe with it. But it's just like this is out of nowhere, man. You got to give us some time to adjust to this. But
that was a terrible fucking. That was like I was almost ready to laugh, but there was like people around me. I was like, this is so stupid. This is bad, man. This is like awful. Who the fuck wrote this part of the movie? Because this is like so unfitting. Like, what the fuck?
They kept trying to the backstory of all these characters, like.
And then the Christmas character,
and then with the Christmas, and trying to make us like, you're not getting.
There's not enough time,
yeah,
and also you're not giving us enough with them.
It's like
also,
it's like you're looking at his goal. You should care about them. Yeah. You should care about what's this pen like. Okay, but why should I care? Because
yeah.
But we are going into this movie.
But it's like because again, like here we are at the end of, well, at least now we know another one's coming eventually. There's no confirmation of a fourth movie, but the fact that essentially they want to do more. There's nothing confirmed yet, but they want to do more. But like it's just that again, here we are. We'll talk more about this after we wrap fully, but here we are at the end of this trilogy, and I don't think Venom was, outside of like a few moments, executed well, and this whole symbiote situation was executed as well as it could have.
I was really hoping
here's a wasted potential situation.
I was just hoping they would just like work around just to like give him just a spider symbol on his chest, just like I was hoping like they would just like give some bullshit like work around like, oh, since he like saw Spider-Man on TV, he's like, wait a second, I got an idea. He makes a Spider-Man symbol on his chest, or like I don't know, maybe he just sees a fucking spider and like, I have a bet, like that's a cool idea.
Pause.
Oh, am I talking?
I thought you were talking about the spider symbol.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you were gonna fucking shoot it over to me.
Sorry, I should have left. I gotta left you in a cold, dead emptiness. Alright.
Keep the shit in, that's funny.
I am.
But like, they should have worked, like, have some kind of workaround for like, just putting the Spider-Man on there.
Yeah, or just a little wink and a nod, because back in the 2000s, Sony would have put Spider-Man logos on everything. Remember, like, the PlayStation even had the Spider-Man font. It's yeah.
Because it's already bullshit that Eddie Brock found Venom without Spider-Man, so it's like, just make up, hey, Venom somehow got spider powers without the need of a Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think we can pretty much wrap without it, because we are just literally digging into this movie. It was a fun theatrical time, but it's not. I don't think it's worth the money to go see it in a theater. Plus, by the time this comes out, which will be the Saturday that this was recorded, so in a couple days from now.
Okay.
I just think look, wait for streaming. It's not really worth the investment of going and seeing it in theaters, because there's nothing really you're getting out of it unless you're roasting it, or unless you like those things, unless you're a filthy casual.
So for the audience, no joke, if you guys are curious for this movie because of what happens after No Way Home, this has nothing to do with that movie at all. The only thing it takes from that post-credit scene is the fact, in terms of the plot, is the fact that Eddie and Brock has been missing for like some time.
Yes.
But other than that, it's like if you're watching this just out of curiosity because you like No Way Home, this doesn't follow up to that post-credit scene in any way.
And again, you talk about like gravity in comparison, when someone gets zoomed out of time and then drops back into time. Mm-hmm. Again, this is just the different tones of these universes, but you talk about like Endgame, Ant-Man comes back in and he's like, holy shit, what happened here? And he's like reacting to everything, and everything's different. Like, again, the tones are going to be different. You're not going to have the gravity of the way that Endgame sort of handled Ant-Man, and how beautiful it was that he was able to see his daughter and everyone just reacting to how things have changed. But I do wish that there was something a little more there, because again, it's just like, I get it, it's fun. He's drunk, he's just, whatever, and you get a little moment with him doing drinks with Venom, and just, that is fun, whatever. But it just kind of, like, it was, again, pointless. Because after that, then the movie actually starts.
Okay, so the end of Venom 2, the cop that gets impaled, his eyes start glowing, and everyone assumed like he was going to become like some type of symbiote.
He did.
He did?
Toxin. The guy was locked up.
That was him.
That was him?
That was him.
That was him.
Oh.
The guy in the...
he didn't do anything. That's why.
He just had...
I was wondering where he came from. That was the officer.
Also a lot of things. Like, they have all of these symbiotes.
Yes.
In that place, and they just don't do anything. And
so
also,
I forgot he was like
sneeze.
I forgot he was like the security guy.
I don't know if it's in the first movie or second movie, but they make a big sneeze about someone not being compatible with the symbiotes.
Yes.
But in this movie, they just start jumping on people. Like everyone inside of the facility just.
That was very confusing.
You get a symbiote.
That's what I was
you get a
thinking about.
symbiote.
At the end,
you get a symbiote.
But that battle, it was like very strange. It was like, what the fuck? Like, you guys just kind of dropped that whole thing.
Like,
I understand big battle, but
yeah.
But
like it also like contradictory to what Toxin has said in the first place, because he's like, they are the Codex. If they are living, then Null's going to come and get us.
Right.
But if you kill them, but the whole time they're all fighting to keep them alive. Like they all just jump out. You think they would all jump out of the pins and attack Venom,
right,
and kill him?
Yeah, because this is like he's just one dude.
Like,
and it's not like he's a hero. He's anybody's hero or anything. I don't know why like everyone's just like not the world should just be against them at this point.
Yeah, I was just like, I the only thing I can think of is like maybe because they locked Null away, they would rather just attack anything that's Null related.
I mean, it'd be an interesting plot point if they can have use of the Codex or something like that.
But no, it's very
and also
it's very unbuilt. You know,
they introduced a lot of symbiotes and then immediately kill them all off.
That's very
like,
into the blender.
That might have been the most annoying thing about.
I was like, why are you killing all of these symbiotes? Like, what? Is only one of them survived?
Yes.
Just the one girl, the speedy one.
Yeah, the one that lightning girl. Yeah, Dash is what I'm gonna call her. Yeah.
I
remember like what angered me about the trailers. I remember like people originally thought like when they showed that bar scene, it was like, but that took place in the Marvel universe. And then when you watch the movie, it's like they have the same bar in their universe with the same dude.
Yeah.
And they capture him and do nothing with him.
By the way, yeah, I found both end credit sequences annoying because one leads to, like, we'll talk about it. Literally, we're going to end this review after about 2-3 more minutes. But the first end credit scene or mid credit scene literally leads to some. I don't want this universe to continue. So I was actually pissed that there's more. I was like, can we not? Can we please just end this? I don't want any more of this shit universe. Can we just start fresh? Like Sony.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would rather switch to a different person who had the Venom symbiote later on. Like Flash Thompson would be a good candidate, right? Because he becomes Agent Venom, and Agent Venom is really cool concept, and especially like I wish I could flash out to the comics right now and think, but I can't.
It's other potential.
Yeah, but like if I don't mind it not ending. I just wish they.
But I think Sony does a great job with like fucking things up and then doing a hard reset. And it's like, this is the time. Like
there's no reset.
Even fuck it up, hard reset. Like why would you mid credit on this? Like,
no, this post credit scene is less than nothing because. It's because like also it's like it's a stupid obvious one. It's like what because Null does nothing the whole movie except sit down, and then he finally the post credit scene of him getting up. I'm gonna fuck up this world or something like that, and then my reaction is like,
okay,
whose problem is this?
Right.
Whose problem is this? Venom's dead.
Yes.
So like who?
Did you guys even like proofread your movie? Like what the fuck are you doing? Like
because and I already read that there's 2 post credit scenes. So like what's the next one? Is Venom alive?
No, it's just that damn bar guy that sadly is fucked up. Now he's running off alone.
No.
And then there's the container open. The container open. Did that contain like the other?
Remember back at the beginning of the movie, the dude had a little piece of symbiote that was disconnected from Venom.
Yeah, so that's still him.
That's what broke.
How did that of all things survive? What the fuck? I thought that was.
I thought that was a container to
I thought that was
lightning.
I thought that was
no,
the last
that
bit
was
wasn't that the last bit of the lightning chicks thing?
Is it?
That's what I thought. That's the container unit because like we didn't see what Venom was putting because he was just like put in the glass.
Yeah, it was like a little glass, but that was like looked just like the tube that she had. Before she snapped it and
that was the tube she had
because it was literally snapped.
What happened was a roach got near it and I forgot. I think the roach got electrocuted or something like that.
Yeah.
But like a fucking roach touched it.
Yeah.
A roach or a rat.
So I don't know what are they trying to say that there's gonna be a roach symbiote?
I don't know. Read the fucking comics.
I think it's how the whole lines up early in the movie where we saw him jump through animals.
Yeah, but it's like
jump onto the roach.
But like that's not a good. That's like a horrible. This might be the worst pair.
But then again, you guys might be right. I don't know if there was 2 tests because Venom's 2 didn't have electricity in it.
Yeah, well, none of it. There's so much disconnected from the rest.
That one at the end did have a little electricity in it, so yes.
That's why it's like it doesn't.
Dude, I was like, okay.
These are the
Okay.
two worst credit sequences I think that a movie could end on. That ends a trilogy because again, what the fuck is this supposed to mean for a character that no longer exists as it was? Because you might as well have just done a hard reset. I don't. What the fuck? Okay, so Venom. Wrapping up as review, all of you guys, Martin. What would you say in briefly about the movie itself?
Like I said, another Venom movie, another check off the list. I did have fun. I know it's a bunch of just jointed nonsense, but I had fun watching. Whenever Venom was on the screen, it was a good time. I was like they said earlier, if you really want to watch it, wait till it's a stream. There's no reason to go to the theaters unless you a movie buff.
Yeah. Mark.
I mean, it's hard to describe this movie. Like, here's the thing, I don't hate it, but also this is my least favorite of the Venom movies. I'm like, it's just like
Really?
Yeah, I found it's like I had more interest in 1 and 2, especially I think the most interesting one was 2. This one was just like
Really?
a bunch of like whatever. I mean, it's fine. I don't hate it though. There were some decent parts, but like a lot of this just feels like a waste of time. It doesn't really like. There's no real story to it. I feel like there was actually story happening in Venom 1 and 2.
Really?
This one just felt like it was making it up as it was going. Yeah, really.
Venom 1, I agree. Venom 1 actually had somewhat of a messy, but a direction.
Yes, they were all messy. But these movies are great.
Yes, Venom 2 also had a direction. Like, things were happening, but you could there's definitely direction. In fact, the way that Carnage is introduced, a lot better and a much more interesting of a journey to watch than this third movie. This third movie is it's like Eddie Brock was. You're walking through a desert fucking doing nothing. You had the whole family thing that was fun, but pointless. It was like you're filling time, you're wasting time. That's what this movie was. It was a waste of time that had a cool couple moments.
Dude, that casino scene was such a like. It was just like, oh, he just ran to the clerk lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so and they danced.
Yeah.
Why is he going to his form just to advance the plot so he can be caught?
That's literally it.
And he gets caught. Nothing about. She doesn't come back later in the movie or anything.
By the way, the moment that Tom Hardy kills the guy, beats up the guy, and then he wears the suit, feels like he's not. He's in a now. Of course, he's Eddie Brock, but he's been in so many movies. Like we saw the Bike Riders earlier this year. It's
Bikers.
It feels like he's like a mob boss now. It doesn't even feel like he's actually Eddie Brock anymore. Because that's just how good. You can still feel he's obviously Eddie Brock, but
also this movie has like a running gag, kind of like Ron Stoppable's pants and Kim Possible. Like Eddie Brock can't keep shoes on.
Yeah, it's noticeable. Yeah. Yeah, guys, this was a waste of time. Venom, that's a movie. We are going to go ahead and keep it moving.
It's still better than Joker 2. It's but it's not the worst thing ever. But it was just.
It's what we expected going in. That's what I think is the key.
We all enjoyed the movie, but at the same time, go fuck it. This is this review.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's like this whole trilogy is better than all the other Sony movies.
So
all the other Spiderman-less movies.
So this this is the thing, right? So this is I wanted to do a brief thing here. This is Sony's, of course. I want to talk about as we're ending this trilogy, Sony's Spider-Man. That's what they call it. Sony's
Craven hype.
They call it Sony's Spider-Man universe. Again, this features.
That's the official name for it.
Yes. This features Spider-Man characters owned by Sony, but does not feature a Spider-Man. It, of course, debuted with Venom. It extends into the upcoming Craven. And again, Sony, this is the thing about this lineup. Just think about where it started. This started at a time where Endgame made so much money and Marvel was on top. Sony really wasted the goodwill of just hero movies at the time with 5, I'd say 4 to 5, I'll say 3, just 2 especially shit movies, but the wasted timeline here is incredible because you go through these and it's just like, wow, what a waste. Venom in 2018, Venom Carnage in 2021, Morbius in 22, Madam Web 24, and then Venom obviously 3 in 2024. It's going to end with Craven. We'll talk about it, but I mean that's off on its own island. Again, now. The combined budgets, when you combine them all, it's around $500 million. So they've only spent around $500 million. Remember, The Marvels last year, that was like $230 million. So good job on Sony for keeping, out of 5 movies, cost $500 million. globally it has earned $2 billion. So technically, they can say that this saga here was a profit. Dog shit, but a profit.
Dude, how hype are you for the Adventures of Vulture and Morbius, the movie?
Yeah, that was, that was the promise for a little bit. Remember that?
No, I'm not going to.
That was the promise. So, here's the thing, though. Sony still has a number of films in development, right? And I'm just going to do a quick list off of where they're left off. There was a Sinister Six film that has not been updated since 2018, but they have not confirmed that it's canceled. There was a Night Watch film that was in development with Spike Lee to direct that, and Spike Lee split from it in October 2018. Mysterio with Jake Gyllenhaal from Far From Home was going to have his own movie, but that was considered and then dropped after 2017. There was a Jackpot film that had a writer, but no updates since May 2020. There was an Olivia Wilde Spider-Woman film that was in the works in 2020. There was a Hypno Hustler film with Donald Glover that was announced in 2022, but there has been no word since. And then there is currently the most promising film in development, which is called El Muerto, starring the guy Bad Bunny from Bullet Train, the Mexican guy, for the Latino guy from Bullet Train that was pretty badass in his fighting. That was announced right after Bullet Train in 2022, yet the film has yet to enter production in 2023. It entered redevelopment this year, but now he's no longer attached to the film. So whatever the fuck it's going to be is in stasis. Last thing here, Venom 4. So Kelly Marcel, she's the director of Venom 3. She confirmed that 3 would wrap Eddie Brock's story. So again, this is the end of Eddie Brock. He's in New York, but it doesn't matter. Hardy wants to do a movie with Spider-Man. He said he's up for it, but again, no word yet. And then also, this sets up Null for future films, even though there is no plan for Null in future films, because there is no saga beyond this that's in the works. Like, there's no Madam Web 2, there's no fucking Morbius 2, like, all of it's new. So, like...
Wait, no Morbius and Vulture the movie?
So, yeah, so that sort of wraps the Spider-Man universe.
Okay, so, I mean, Sony's been, like, trying to get Disney to, like, put Venom inside inside the MCU for a while, and, like, they got what they wanted. They settled for that shitty post-credit scene, but, like, even after that, they were still trying to, like, sell to get him in there, because, like, I think, like, one of the newer deals with Spider-Man was, like, one of the negotiations was, like, hey, put Venom in this movie. And we don't know if they settled on anything yet. So, I mean, there could be a possibility Tom Hardy could show up probably even for a cameo in one of these Avengers clusterfuck multiverse films.
I think I would rather Tom Hardy just be a different villain, a character at this point, because he's so dynamic.
I mean, I like Tom Hardy in general, but like, I mean, when we're talking about Tom Hardy's Venom, I don't need this either. But I'm saying this is what they're probably selling on.
If it's the MCU, go fuck off. Like no, he's so good. Like, again, this is the guy that was Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He is Venom now. Like, this guy could do a million things.
He's one of the most memorable Banes. Like,
everyone saw me in the dark.
Yeah. Whenever people are parodying Bane, it's always going to be that one. No one's parodying
This is me.
No one's parodying the Luchador Bane anymore. It's always going to be Tom Hardy's Bane forever.
Yeah. Even
the Harley Quinn show is just Tom Hardy's Bane.
So, before we wrap this up, let's rank the 5 Sony Spider-Man universe movies.
Fucking Morbius #1, boy! Let's go! And then #2, Madam Web! And then, you can put the Venom somewhere. But, fucking, no joke! Fucking these, Madam Web is the worst. Morbius is like the second worst. And then this is just about the Venoms.
Yes.
This is only about the Venoms. Because, like, it doesn't matter. Because, like, if you like Morbius over Madam Web, if you like Morbius over Madam Web, I'm not going to argue with you. If you like Madam Web over Morbius, I'm not going to argue. That's not even an argument. That's like, which shit smells the worst? I don't know, they both smell pretty bad. I'm not going to sniff harder, so you can have that argument. But, like, so for the Venoms, I like Venom. Venom 2 is the best. Venom 1 is the second best, and Venom 3 is there.
So it's 2 at 1, 1 at 2, and then 3 at 3.
The way you said it's so confusing.
And then Morbius at
so
4. And
how
Venom
about you
at 5.
so 1 first? I mean, so yeah. How about 2 first?
That's what I
1
just said.
second.
That's what I just said.
So it's 1 at 2. 2 at 1.
No, I do it. Listen, all right.
You said I'm saying you should have said like second first because you just made it sound
I feel
confusing.
it was a little confusing. Martin, where would you rank the 5?
I wouldn't rank him.
Why?
I've never seen Morbius.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit! What are we doing right now? All right, pause the recording.
I haven't seen Madam Web, so I can't rank.
Oh shit! Pause the recording.
Yeah.
Like I even if it's, I know it's a terrible movie, but I've never seen it, so I'm not gonna.
See, I don't dive into trash. I just kind of try to avoid it. So I wanted to get Mark.
Madam Web.
I wanted to get Mark's.
Fuck
review.
you! We're fucking movie reviews. You have to watch everything.
Movies.
All right, so everyone, next cartoon chat, Sherlock Gnomes. Let's go.
Oh Jesus!
This is a series. I'll just say it's number 1.
What?
The series is number 1.
The series? What the fuck is the series?
Venom 1, 2, and 3. The series, the 3 of the movies.
Okay, what are your? So rank them. What
rank?
Rank Venoms.
You're 1 is first, 3rd is second, and the last is the second movie.
I think I'll just do the Venom movies and Morbius. Morbius is definitely last. In terms of the Venom rankings, I'll definitely do 2 at the top. I'll do 3 at. Put the 3rd movie at 2nd place, and then I'll put the 1st movie at the 3rd place. All right. Last thing before we wrap this review.
Every movie should have an Eminem song.
Yes.
Well,
they did have a good end credit song. The middle end credit song was pretty cool for this movie. Mark, before you say anything else, I do want to just touch on the Spider-Verse update because we're talking Spider-Man and Sony knows how to fuck things up. So I wanted to talk about what we know about Spider-Verse as of right now. So if you wanted to know, here's a little bit of an update. So, Karen Sony, this guy was Joe Pender in Deadpool, of course, and he was Patvir Pabrahar in Spider-Verse. This is the guy from Mumbai Hatton. You know, remember Spider-Verse 2? This guy, he said in an interview with Indian Times in August that voice recording would begin in, quote, a few months, and that the film was already deep in production. If you've been listening or hearing, there were, in September, a few significant rumblings. There was an insider that claimed that much of the work on Beyond the Spider-Verse had been scrapped, but here's the thing, the film's composer, Daniel Pemberton, and producer Chris Miller both denied that by saying, quote, nothing has been scrapped. The best estimates for the film release are now after 2025 and now closer to 2027. So just an understanding of where we are for this movie. Nowhere close, far off in the future, not going to be, definitely not next year, most likely not 26, probably 27. And that lines up because Spider-Verse came out in 2018 and Spider-Verse 2 came out in 2023. So the idea that they even theorized that this was going to be a 2024 movie last year is fucking outrageous. Like, I can't believe they even put that on the banner. You remember that, Mark? They actually put that shit on the banner for a little bit. It is crazy to imagine that they actually did that.
Wasn't it supposed to be dim production like fucking 2 years ago? No, yeah, last year.
It was supposed to. That's the thing. It's like they were like. That's why they tagged it. Like it's supposed to be like. Remember the month March 24th. It was going to be Kung Fu Panda 4 and then Spider-Verse 3. No. So like, either this report of everything's been scrapped is true, or they're just clearly they were nowhere close. Because with the voice actor saying, "Yeah, we're not like." The voice acting is going to begin in like a couple months. That means that they still have to animate the voices. Like,
yes.
They have to animate that then. So, like, they're nowhere close. Like, this movie is definitely
unless it's the fucking Moana thing where it's already been fucking animated somehow, and they're just like putting up, which is stupid.
Even then, like, I don't see that being a 25. Like, it's got to be 26 at the earliest, right? I mean,
at the earliest.
It's been talking about. Like, yeah.
That's why, again, I was like so down on like the
ending. Now I feel you. Because at first, when we came out of the theater and you were pissed, I was like, calm down, man, it's next year, alright? Relax. Now, if I knew what I knew back then, I would say I understand how upset
I was under the impression that it was the one entire movie and that they had already finished, close to finishing.
That's what they were sounding like, didn't they, Mark? Like that it was like this movie was in production with the second one.
Yeah,
and that they were doing this
because like that's
so
what
long they had to split it in half.
That's what Avengers Endgame and Infinity War was, because like the budget for that whole production was like $500 million.
Yeah,
for the entire thing.
Insane.
And like
so
even split between two movies, 250. But like that whole production, they were producing one large movie.
Yeah.
And like they split it into two, but they made them like different movies. So that's what I assumed they were doing. And like, what the fuck? Like, they were thinking that movie was supposed to release the next year.
Yes.
And at the time of us like watching that, you assume they had something. They had nothing done.
No.
How the fuck are they gonna with that kind of animation too? Because also, you know,
it's multi-layered.
This director, this team, they like to constantly one up themselves.
Yes.
And like, so how are they going to fast track this to the fucking next year?
Yeah.
That.
I feel like the reports of overworking people. I'm glad that was announced because I feel like we probably would have got an incredibly shit movie if they even tried to get this out at some point in 24. Whether that would have been this time in the year instead of early in the year. Whatever a rushed version of Spider-Verse 3 would have been awful, most likely, and I'm so glad that what we're getting instead...
Dude, we're gonna have like a fucking...
we're gonna get a movie that makes sense. Like, again,
no, we're gonna have a fucking episodic recap in the beginning of this next movie.
I hope not.
It's gonna be like, previously on Spider-Verse.
Well, what I appreciate is I think the second movie didn't do that. It expected you to know, and I hope...
Because it was complete! The first movie was complete! This second movie ended off like a fucking... season cliffhanger.
It did, but like I think that they expect you to like with Star Wars 2 ends on this cliffhanger.
That's Star Wars.
Star Wars Episode 5 ends on this. Empire Strikes Back ends on this cliffhanger. They don't just they go to the next thing. They don't just say, "All right, we're gonna fucking do a fucking mini recap." I hope they don't.
But that's Star Wars. They've always been episodic.
Because
Spider-Verse wasn't the first one was not.
It's not. But they only have 2 movies. Like it's not like
I know, but this is like a large gap between like movie releases.
Again, it's 2018 to 2023. That was a big. That was 5 years. That makes sense. Like I'm not. Now
I know, but that was. I'm not talking about. This was a complete. This movie literally ended off at to be continued.
It did, and that's the annoying part about 2. And so, it's more annoying now that we know that this is going to be so far in the future. Like we're talking post both Avengers movies. Those already seem so far into the future. This movie isn't going to be there until, like, my sister's, like, in her 20s. That's fucking insane. That is insane. So, like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope, again, this is a positive, not a negative. But what we're going to bring to the table, what they're going to bring to the table, I hope is excellent. And
I hope it's not rushed to either.
Yeah, I hope we're there to see it. I hope it's awesome.
Because I hear, like, some of the animators had bad experience because they were like they felt overworked. They were rushed.
Yeah, I think that this is a wake up call for the production for the heads of those production teams. So I think that's why also they're moving so slow. Is you have to adjust for how you're going to handle production now, and that's better.
And me and Brian are going to go to this like Spider-Verse concert. So I don't know, maybe Sony's trying to make some extra money with those things. I think it's like, do you think Sony organized this or like some?
They had to have. I think this was just picking up on, the moment and understanding that there is value there. Because there's nothing else happening outside of the shitty Venomverse movies, and there's nothing connecting there. Like it's not. This was not. They did not do the Spider-Verse in concert because fucking Craven is around the corner. Like they're not doing that for that. Like that's not.
Not speaking of that. Fucking great. I love Spider-Man shit. Spider-Man 2, the game DLC has been canceled.
What?
Yes. I think it might have been because of the Insomniac leaks, but like
what the fuck do you? What for? What?
It was just canceled.
What do you know? What was going to be in that? Was there any because
they were going to do like a Carnage like expansion, and they were going to have like other expansions based on other villains too.
What the fuck is Sony doing, man?
There is reportedly
Sony
probably going to be no DLC for Spider-Man 2, so they're probably just fast tracking into just making it Spider-Man 3.
Just putting it into a third. That makes sense. Just let's make
money.
More money. Why would we add DLC? We're so money hungry. We're Sony. Why would we add more DLC for a game that costs us money?
Another weird thing is they were I don't know if they're actually going to do it. They were in discussion about putting the next game into parts. So like Spider-Man 3 is going to come out. So we don't know if they're actually. I don't know what Insomniac is doing right now.
What do you mean Sony? No, what do you mean? What do you mean? What's Insomniac doing? What is Sony telling Insomniac to do? You mean?
Oh, both. I don't fucking know what's going on over there.
Dude, you know inside.
I get they recently got hacked.
I just don't think that's in Insomniac's core. I doubt that's in Insomniac's core. I think that's a Sony mandate. Like, let's make as much money as possible. You know what? I'll tell you what. You guys both have PS5s. The PS6 future sounds excellent at this point. Sounds like it's going to be fun and not money grubbing. Awesome. I love this. I love Sony. I love everything that's there.
Why is Spider-Man is like one of the most best-selling superheroes, like, period. Why is this shit getting canceled left and right? We're getting slow updates on Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland Spider-Man 4.
They
keep like throwing we keep getting like rumors that like this Marvel person is supposed to show up here, this Marvel person is supposed to show up here. Fucking
yeah, I don't know, but Mark, I know that we have to end this review.
Last thing I want to say is like we're getting all these like Sony Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. I feel like they're gonna keep making them because I'm enjoying them. How shit they can keep making them. I feel like at some point they're going to accidentally make a gem, kind of like how
the villain movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like how DC like ended up with Joker 2019. They're going to like.
That was like so out of the range, though.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean.
I think what you're not realizing is I think that Spider-Verse is that gem. Like those are the gems right now.
I know, but I'm talking about these live action movies to begin. Yeah,
I think they. Yeah, I guess. I just think like everything Sony again, when Sony wants to control it, like they'll give a person free rein for a little bit. Again, we saw that with the Raimi films, 1 and 2, Raimi, and then Sony comes down with this fucking mandate. Third movie. Fucking too much chaos going on. Then you get Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. The first movie, not that good, but the second movie we're optimistic about. Sony puts all these mandates in for Sinister Six and all this fucking spin-off shit. It becomes overwhelming and a mess, a production hell. In fact, and that's why Andrew Garfield doesn't want to come back, or was so slow to come back until No Way Home. It's just like
he wants to come. Apparently, there's been recent reports he wants to come back.
He wants to.
Like
he's been wanting to come back,
and he's been teasing like, "Hey, we might be bringing Amazing Spider-Man back," but apparently he made some like controversial comments, and like Sony and Marvel are like,
"Who gives a okay, cool? We'll just keep Here's the thing: just don't use him. Just keep not using him because again, we're getting out of the window. You know how fucking no one can tell me that it was fun in No Way Home when what the fuck? Why is my brain farting here? First Spider-Man. What's his actor's name?
Tom Maguire.
When Maguire was in the movie, I don't believe he's still Spider-Man, but it was good to see him. You know inside the suit, he's not actually doing that shit. But Andrew Garfield, you can still he's still young enough to slightly believe that's a guy that can still do it. You can barely tell. Like, he's older, but he's still agile looking enough that, like, yeah, that's a guy acting-wise that can portray a Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is too old now. You can tell visually. But Andrew Garfield is just on the edge. And you keep waiting. Just fucking keep on waiting. And you're going to miss that fucking boat. So Sony's waited and they've burned so many years. Keep on doing it. I'm pissed. I hate that. Same thing with Henry Cavill. You fucking wasted 10 years of this motherfucker's life. You had all those movies. You had fucking 3 movies you could have had in that time period. You only have them in 1 movie and then a fucking Batman v Superman and a Justice League movie. Tony Stark, by the way... Robert Downey Jr. in that time period was in 15 MCU films. But Superman was in fucking 3. Because these companies don't know how to fucking manage these goddamn characters. They suck. I hate when this happens because you have actors that are so goddamn good at their roles and you don't do shit with them. Go fuck off. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, but it just pisses me off.
There's so much discourse of like Sony and like how they're handling all of the Spider-Man content. Like, because also another stupid thing. I know we're gonna end it, but like another stupid thing was one of the negotiation talks for what we're gonna do for Spider-Man 4 is they wanted that lightning in a bottle again. They want to bring back Tobey and Maguire again for Spider-Man 4.
Let him live. Why would you bring him back, you retards? What are you doing?
They're like, hey, people, this worked again. People loved it, so let's do it again. It's like, no, that the point of 3 is because it's good because
he needed it in the moment, and then now he's a stronger Spider-Man. Again, we talked about this after Deadpool.
They could do it if there is.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
There is a comic book
where that happens, where he goes back again.
Spider-Man are being hunted.
No.
Yeah,
That
well,
doesn't matter.
they could do that.
They could do it that way.
But Martin, me and Mark talked about this after Deadpool Wolverine. The easiest fucking you want No Way Home numbers? Deadpool and Spider-Man. Just do it. Just shut the fuck up. Just stop with the fucking. I hate these I just hate these goddamn companies just holding this shit hostage. Just. You see one thing, you see it. You could have had this at the end of the year before. You could have this at the end of the year before fucking the new Avengers comes out in 26. Like you have that open slot where Blade was. Just all you have to do, pay Ryan Reynolds however much money you want. Pay his Sean Levy however much money you want. The guy that fucking directed and wrote that movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. Fucking get Tom Holland, get the team on that. And just do it. Like, shut the fuck up and just make the movie. But these dumb motherfuckers just waste. And then you got Tom Holland, who looks fucking 30 now. He's so old. And I'm glad they did the fucking thing at the end of No Way Home, because he's too old to play a high schooler. So I'm glad that they had them depart, like, from MJ in the fucking high school, because he can't be that age anymore, because they waited so fucking long.
Even that, they don't even need to do this because they already got the Spider-Verse movies. I'm surprised No Way Home existed because they already got the Spider-Verse movies, but like, they kind of made it in a way, it's like, you know, it's different from Spider-Verse, but they don't need to do, because like, I know you said they could annotate a story from,
right.
But that Spider-Verse is already doing all that shit anyway.
Yeah, we're Spider-Man are being...
And I think they're still supposed to make cameos in the next Spider-Verse. Because they were supposed to make cameos, like, within the first one. And I think at some point in the second one, but, like, they end up not making cameos. They got, like, they use old video footage.
I can't wait. Fucking Tobey Maguire's going to be 84. He'll make a fucking appearance in goddamn Spider-Verse 3 when that movie comes out. And yeah, that's gonna be great. And Sony will have made like 12 Venoms spin-offs.
You're gonna be doing this till you're 90, like Deadpool Wolverine. So like, till you're 90.
I really hate Sony. Like Sony, go fuck yourself, guys. This has been the ScreenBlast podcast for Venom review. Guys, you can find.
You like Spider-Man? Well, it's canceled. Get out of here.
They can find you, Mark. Where can they find you?
Fucking at K9Bits. That's K9BIS. KU. That's K9B. Fuck. That's K9BISKUTS.com. Where you can find Brian is at these Google Map coordinates that you can put them on screen right now. That's his location. Editor, can you put in like where his grandmother's house is, like where his windows is? Yeah. You can find Martin here. Editor, put in Martin's Google Maps coordinates.
That's an earn, buddy. By the way, you can find Martin, the star himself, right here on ScreenBlast, of course. And again, you can find ScreenBlast at your favorite podcast service. You can find me at Themocracy. That's ATHEMOCRACY.com. You can find me also at Brian the Baltimorean on Instagram. Appreciate all you guys, and stay tuned for more.
And we're making cameos in Spider-Man 3. Oh, it's got canceled. Never mind. All right, line out, everybody.